That little flick has left a snooker, and not straightforward now just to come off the side cushion and into the bunch as you normally would do, because there's a red either side. So it's the two cushion escape that Ken will be looking at. Yeah, I'm with Steve Davis. This would be a terrific win for Ken Doherty, because Ronnie O'Sullivan against Ali Carter was superb. Now he's going to risk coming off two cushions and just nestling in the back of the bunch this time, rather than going into the side of them. And even then he might have left one. This is a chance. This red goes to the middle pocket. Well, does it? Maybe it doesn't. Looks, yeah, I think he can pot that and get on the black. Just spotted something on the white.
One.
Good chance this. Still three reds available at the moment, and he might even just nudge another one into play when getting onto the black here. Let's have a look at the angle he's left himself at the back of the bunch. Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful.
9.
Got the nudge. It didn't really develop anything there, but it's still not a bad chance.
Just wonder whether he'll play the deep screw here and try and hawk the cue ball into the pack, knowing that he'll be on the loose red. No, just playing for the loose one. He could have played the same shot and screwed into the bunch, but probably felt that the pack being loose, it may have, would have had trouble going through them.
17.
Yeah, he didn't leave himself on the black to go into the pack, because it's not a good pack to go into from the black. He played for the loose red here. But just looking at it, he may have to leave
24.
himself on the pink in such a way as to go into them, because if he plays up for the blue, because the pink is so far away from the reds, it's not easy to pop blue and cannon into them. Now, has he got the
25.
angle? I don't think so. This could be the end of break here. Well, he had a bit of angle, but it was always going to be difficult. He did a little skip round the table there, Ronnie.
The Ronnie
31.
shuffle. Just didn't quite get it in, Dennis, so you could have practiced that one for the next time you're on the Come Dancing.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 31.
I'd like to see Ronnie on Strictly Come Dancing. I think he'd be terrific.
Yes, Ronnie would be disappointed to have left that shot to nothing on, but it's going to be tough to get onto the next red because the angle on the blue is going away from it. Ken's potted a few of those now from just under the cushion. The red that's on the pink spot, I think, will pot in the right-hand corner, so he can just roll through and leave that shot. And it's all about the angle. Should he pot it, he gets onto a colour, whether he can go into the bunch.
6.
Not quite sure if he's got enough angle to play that shot that I've put up there, but he'd like to. Just screw past the bunch and leave himself on the black. We'll find out very shortly, but it's a possibility, I feel. Well, he's got to the white line without even using the cushion, so that was very well picked out.
Ken's unfortunately one of those players that doesn't possess the cue power of some of the other players, and this cue ball needs to go in at a great deal of pace. and this is not bound to be on a red here. Played it perfectly, deserves to be on something. Played it perfectly, unlucky if he's Chinese. When I say Chinese, that's of course hampered
14
by a red, having to queue over a ball. So I don't know where that saying came from. We've talked about that, haven't we, before, Dennis? I don't know where it came from. I'm not being racist. I think we've got enough racism going on at the minute, haven't we, in different television programmes. So. It's okay, though. You can queue this one.
15
Well, this is, has to be said, a chance for frame and match. If he gets onto a red here, he's favourite.
Ken Doherty 15.
Yeah, don't say it's the wrong shot refusing the brown, but same scenario. If Ronnie hits one and gets safe, he'd probably wish to have gone for the brown. We'll know in a few moments.
Well, Ronnie's expression tells you he's not so keen on this one, the way they're situated. He was pulling a few faces there as he came to the table because he's in a tough spot. Now, what's he playing? Hit and hope? Well, it wasn't all that much of a hit and hope. He played this shot, and I'll tell you what, you'll not see a better shot than that. He's unlucky if he leaves the red to the middle. But he's played, well, what you could only call as an exhibition type shot there. Loads of screw, and that's what he was attempting, to get the white into the balk area, but he's unlucky. This could be the end. Okay, he's still behind in this frame, but Ken Doherty won't get a better chance than this.
Yes, and for Ronnie to generate the screw, he did it off screwing into the cushion when you consider the whites had to travel about 8 or 10 feet. And the only red that's crept up into the balk area, he was just able to get through to it, Ken. And Ronnie's sitting there now, just gnawing at his nails, knowing that that could have been his last shot in this year's Masters. The Saga Insurance Masters could be slipping away from him.
6
But still, you've got to knock the balls in, and when it's a frame that'll take you over the winning line, it's amazing what can go wrong, but the chance is there for Ken.
7
Yeah, the boys were saying in the studio that Ken started this match very poorly, and not many players could have kind of kicked themselves into gear and got themselves queuing well. Ken has done that now. He's just stayed with it for the first 2.5 frames, and then suddenly the break started to come. His safety hasn't been very, very good, to be honest, but he started to score heavily when he's in.
Mind, when we used to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of players, one of the great strengths we always said about Ken Doherty was his battling qualities, and he did his battling earlier on after losing the 2 opening frames, and now he's showing his break building qualities. Yes, you have to go right back to frame 6, where Ronnie was leading 3-2 in the balls and missed the easiest of reds to go 4-2 in front, and since then that's given Ken that confidence, Dennis, hasn't it? Yeah, you can always pick a shot out that turns a match, and that was that shot, although Ronnie has battled away bravely and he quickly forgot about that, but Ken has played so well since winning that frame.
Yes, some players would get a little bit excited with the chance of beating Ronnie O'Sullivan and having to clear up to win, but Ken's such an experienced match player.
21.
Been around for many, many years, and he's not frightened to get over the winning line. Hasn't played a great shot there, though. Slightly hampered. Got to be a little careful imparting a bit of side on. He doesn't miss this red.
That was a kick.
And Doherty 21.
That was a heavy contact. What a time to get a kick. Watch the red. It's straightened up. How unlucky was that? And the crowd getting a little excited. They want this match to continue. They want to see a deciding frame. Ken doesn't, but it might be the case.
Yes, it's a shame a match has to probably change once again on something like that, but it has done. Ken was almost a certainty there. But it was a bad shot, his previous shot. He shouldn't have been having to play a shot with a lot of check side. Because whenever you play with check side slow, you can get a kick more often than if you're playing plain ball. 5-5 is favourite.
8. Nine.
Mind, when you get to this crucial stage, it is amazing what can happen. So, nothing's a formality.
Yes, you'll certainly need a good temperament to have come back from that, should it go 5-5. God, that would really hurt, that last shot of Ken's.
14. $15.
Well, he doesn't want to be absolutely straight on this pink, otherwise that red into the middle will be a little bit tricky. He would like to get closer to it. And he had got the angle to leave both reds. Look where he's put the white. Leave himself a choice of reds.
21. $22. $28.
Ronnie's turn this time to play a bad positional shot because he's hampered for this red. He's 23 points in front, needs red and colour.
What about this left-handed over the top of the blue? That's brilliant.
39.
That is just a brilliant shot. To play that with your opposite hand and be hampered.
36.
Well, I suppose
38.
this match deserves a deciding frame. Ken Doherty was very unlucky with that kick
41.
because he was a strong favourite to win the match with the position he was in, but the kick spoiled it for him.
I thought we weren't going to get a 50 break
45.
in this frame, but we still might. This has been an incredible frame. I mean, no break of 50,
on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
42 much for Doherty. He should have won the match by for a very unlucky kick. Ronnie O'Sullivan levels at 5-5.